Dr. Sahib, 5 minutes.
I'll skip it now because the moment I...
Start, please. You start, please.
That is what I'm saying, sir. Sir, I agree with Mr. Naik who had said, what all we have to discuss here is a formality as far as the budget is concerned, as far as this House is concerned, for the appropriation. Nonetheless, we are trying to express our views or, if necessary, make suggestions based on the budget that was presented. Since it is a finance bill which is going to factor in things that have been promised, if there is something shortcomings, we will do. I would like to join, lastly, the issue with Yadavji, because that seems to be the issue between the RBI and the Finance Ministry. As a matter of fact, that should have been my thing. I'm a votary and a supporter of the Finance Minister who has not that open differences, but nonetheless, few of the things that as the press or the public tells us. So whatever it is, first I would like to say, we are only to speak here about some omissions or commissions. I'm bringing it not because I'm finding fault with the budget the way it is being implemented, but nonetheless, the systemic failures that our system, financial process systems have in these failures. There are differences of views on our economy. Somebody says very good, somebody says bad, but nonetheless, I say we are doing well in the given stress circumstances. So let us not say. Now, I would go to Mr. Jairam Ramesh, who found fault with the GDP's calculation. It is well known that there have been different schools of thought as to the base being taken, whether it is a 3.5 or a 7.5 or 10, and it is a well set money that it has become trivial as far as the growth is concerned. But as far as the rate of growth is concerned, this has to be compared with the economy that you are talking about. If you are talking about 3.5 as a world economy and think we are double than that, the world economy is different from that of the Indian economy. So let us not get into all of this. Sir, there is some kind of a compliments being paid to the finance ministries or the government for their fiscal discipline. This fiscal discipline, I could have understood they are only restricting it to inflation. But this is even going up to the GDP level. Going up to deficit thing. I would like to ask even the economists like Mr. Yadav, what is wrong if the deficit is 3.7 or 3.9 for an economy like ours? What is the great sanctity attached that should be 3.5? It is only about public debt you are trying to talk about. If the expenditure is more than that of our income, what you do is you go and borrow money. And the finance minister has come 2-3 times, is on board to say that he would manage, there will be a committee also to manage. That he has not done is another matter. That he has not lived up to his own promises in the budget, that is what exactly we are supposed to talk. But I don't see any great thing or sanctity attached to say that we should be sticking to 3.5 because an economy like ours can certainly take up to 3.9 also. I don't really feel there's anything wrong, strictly speaking, academics of economics. Sir, as far as the economy is concerned, I would like to take advantage of this before I go into the real figures of yours. Sir, agriculture, as everyone said, should be the main basis of our economic building. And the 2 monsoons that have failed us and the conditions all around the country, particularly in Telangana, which is worst conditions we today face, as we have never seen before, at least in recent past, have been very horrible. And the state government had gone to the center for funds. We have asked for 3,016 crores and only 712 is given. I'm trying to refer it so that if I taking advantage of the presence of the finance minister, which I have been seeing yesterday only, we met the prime minister who again promised us. We asked for the scarcity fund and the relief fund, which are only 72,000 claims as against the promise of 500 crores. This has to be looked into as far as finance minister is concerned. Sir, coming back to our position today, it's all good. But have you really seen the economy as far as agriculture is concerned? Last year it was negative, today it is only 2%. Have you seen the investments? It is down by 11.5%. Have you seen the exports? Down by 13%. Have you seen the manufacturing? Down by 6.5%. I'm not saying this economy has that kind of vibrance to face them all. But nonetheless, these have to be factored in. We are thinking of the futuristic thing as far as the finance bill is concerned or the budgetary formulations are concerned. Sir, staggering NPA, which Mr. Jairam mentions, is something very good. whether economics or law, whatever it is, when you are trying to talk about that, sir, you must look into the social environment. The sociology of economics, the sociology of law is something you need to look back to this. Why I am trying to point out this is, today when a farmer in Telangana, 19,000 crores we waive, and still the banks play flag with us on that issue, and one particular corporate thinks that his NPA is 19,000 crores and still seeking some kind of new loan so that he will revive it. Whatever it is, you have to look into it. This is an ordinary thing, can't be just ordinary thing. Sir, as far as, which I am majorly saying because I have to cut short my speech, I would only go by this thing which is coming in, sir, the RBI and finance. It is very true that consolidation, as I have already said, can wait. And no, I'll again skip all this. Sir, you had promised us the Public Debt Management Agency, PDMA. That we have welcomed it. On that day, it is a debate. I said, all of us said within 3 months we had withdrawn it, but we did not give us an explanation. Today, what is our economy is nothing but the public debt. Only because RBI is trying to become, because of his committee, becoming the sole proprietor, sole monarch, does not mean the public debt management should not be in our hand. Similarly, sir, what we have done is, first you have also promised regulation of the securities, which is looking at by SEBI. Now this also, already you had promised us in February, May you had withdrawn. I'm trying to talk about public debt and the market issues. These two things have really bothered most of us. So, sir, I would last say this. See, for me, fiscal policy and what all of you, the finance minister would agree, policy monetary policy are two instruments of macro policies, which must not be dichotomized. There need not be hiatus between this and that and the differences between the RBI and you. The idea that RBI should manage inflation through monetary policy and the finance ministry should manage growth through fiscal policy is completely wrong. Indeed, the two instruments should not be separated from each other or implemented in isolation. That is what exactly looks like. I'm not saying the ministry is not working. The reasons are well known. I need not repeat. Sir, last word I said. Thus, if monetary policy is vested with RBI alone, as I said, the committee has RBI. The other day when in the parliamentary committee meeting, I had an opportunity of meeting the RBI chairman who was present in the committee. We told him that same thing here, which I am repeating what I had said there. If monetary policy is vested in RBI alone and fiscal policy is the responsibility of the finance ministry, the three sets of problems will arise. First, each would ignore the interactive consequences explained by me now earlier. Second, the essential coordination between the fiscal and monetary aspects of macro policies will fall between the stools. Third, the distribution of the burden of adjustment will be outcome of bargaining, as RBI will press for fiscal adjustment and ministry will press for monetary adjustment. Sir, I think this is time because I'm talking to you of the entire focus of the monetary management and the fiscal management. I think ministry should sort it out this with the RBI.
Thank you. Thank you, Dr. Saab.